And welcome to Sao Paulo, Revel on pole from Puff and Kwon Todoroki, who won this race in Season 1 of the IndyCar. Then it's Lawless Leclerc, Marcus Nelson, and Ica World. Then it's Red Devil, Ocampo, and UK Ball, with Rodney Solis starting 10th. Bit of a gap in terms of time to get to Bob Tisarov in 11th. Then it's Charles Hernandez, Carlos Kynes, Francis Austin, and Remy LeBeau. Elliot Deli starts 16th from Jonathan Sims and Scadon Rossack. Then it's Volstad. Gabo, the home driver of the Theo, is only 21st, and then it's Cosmas Medizes. We've brought the Samba to the start of Season 24. Revel on pole, Puff alongside, all 5 lights, go on! And we are underway in season number 24, and that was a brilliant start from the Jaguar driver off the line. He's already alongside with Revo as they head down through turn number 1. He's got the inside line, and Puff takes the lead. Kwon Todoroki, 5-second time penalty, collides with Lawless Leclerc, who moves up into 3rd. Ica World also with a great start. Nelson has had a shocker, drops to 7th position. Solis moved up into 8th, but Leclerc now up into 2nd position, looking for a way to get past on his countryman in Puff, who heads the pack in Sector 2. Look at that from the Jaguar drivers. Here comes Leclerc, fresh off of winning the chase. He's alongside with Viewer. Still going side by side, the 16 versus the 9. And it's Leclerc who's about to come out on top. It's Leclerc from Puff and Revo as they make their way through the final banked part of the track, but they're still side by side. This is going to be a battle that might rage on to the very end of this race. We're on board with the 9 of Puff, and we didn't see anything like this in testing. Yes, we saw the Red Devil doing quite well, but Puff himself, he must have been doing long run pace, because we really didn't see this type of manic overtaking, but we love to see it. Attack mode's online on this lap. Fastest first sector going to Leclerc as Puff's trying to close up. The pole sitter of Revo, by the way, he's dropped down to 5th. I'm pretty sure that DS's strategy today is to go as long as possible, but for Marcus Nelson to be dropping down the order too, it shows that they don't really have everything work together, but not as poorly as everyone behind UK Ball, because it's really just a 10-horse race in a series where we've often seen 22-horse races, especially in Indianapolis. So once we head over to the state of Indiana at the end of the season, we really hope we get some better racing in terms of the top, well, everyone. Sebastian Ocampo in 4th, trying to close up to Ica World, who's just set a fastest lap of 59.299. That's roughly 2 seconds quicker than what they were doing in qualifying. So whatever it is that they found with these new regulations, these updates to the regulations inside the cars, the actual chassis itself remains as it has been since Season 22, the ERL 02s, as Revo now setting a fastest first sector. Whatever the teams have found in the top 10, as everyone now has to make their own unique powertrain, whatever they found, it has proved to work brilliantly for both Jaguar and Pinnacle. It's working quite well at Andretti and at Power Motorsport and at DS Virgin Racing, but for Toyota, for Dragon, for Renault, for Sims and Porsche, for Audi, for Mercedes, it's just not looked like it should. As there goes Nelson in the 13, up into 6th. He's been ready to get back into the hot seat of one of these cars again. He moves up into 5th position, and he's now in the slipstream of Sebastian Ocampo. Leclerc still heads the pack. Did a brilliant job of that during the chase in the Cup. Pretty sure he only won one race in the chase, but he was unbelievably consistent. He beat Dragon Sonic by having that one win effectively, because the only way that race in Illinois, in Indianapolis rather, could have changed in the favor of the then DS Racing driver is if he won, if he got past his teammate, and he didn't. You let Revo take the win, you would have hoped that this man Leclerc was further behind, and he just wasn't. And that's how Leclerc really won the chase. He was just that consistent, and he got the win in. And those soft tyres, as we're on to lap number 5, they are beginning to grain up, so expect Puff to be all over the back of Leclerc through the second sector. There's a big gap forming between UK and Charles Hernandez. We are sorry that we're not taking a look at that fight, because the fight for the lead just looks so close. Puff, he's under half a second behind Leclerc. He's gonna be on his back sooner rather than later. And it's all about when, not if, at this point. Will Leclerc yield before he comes into the pits? Or will Puff have to get past him through pit stops? And don't forget, this fight for the lead for Pinnacle, it's a two-pronged race because Yua is having to attack Leclerc here, and he's also having to defend from Ica World. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place, and if the Scotsman can actually make it work, then it'll be great as Leclerc comes in. Also into the pits, that's Ocampo, Nelson, I believe the Red Devil, yes it is the Red Devil who's in, with 11 laps to go. We might see some guys further back that come into the pits too, and just going to take a look at this. On board with Delhi, he maxes out on the speedometer there at about 310 kilometers per hour. If we take a look at UK Ball, I'm pretty sure he was doing a lot more than that. This is what we're beginning to see already with these new powertrain regulations. They are developing their own powertrains, their own motors separately, all the teams, instead of getting packages from designated manufacturers who are on the grid. Now, it's much more different than that. And just rising up the hill with Ica World, if he stays out, we will be able to get a good comparison with Elliot Delly, who did 310. Remember that? Just remember, he did 310. Attack mode in use for Ica World, and he was doing 310 as well. Kwon comes into the pits, but again, that was just attack mode. I'm pretty sure we were seeing Delhi using attack mode and attack charge in tandem, so that's how far off the pace some of these teams are. That's what they've got to do over the course of the next few races to catch up. Vegas will probably actually show us a much better representation of where all the teams are at, but it also will show us who's got the best speed, because remember that Las Vegas straight, very long straight, it's one of the longest straights on the calendar. And the only way you can have a long straight is if the entire track was effectively a straight with some very long turns. Not that I would know any of them. You know how much I love the Indianapolis track that we have in the ERL. Looking back with the 7 of Revo, and he's effectively on an island. He's being hunted by both power drivers. Puff's coming to the pits, Revo and Solar's in. So Rodney Solar, he got past his teammate, by the way, so he's been given priority in the pits. Oh, that's not the greatest release there from Jaguar. In comes the number 46. Hopefully a better release from Power Motorsport, and they do get that better release. That's Leclerc going side by side with Ocampo, the top 5 already, trying to close up to the back of UK Ball. They came out behind Puff. I think the Scotsman might have a good shot of winning this if it weren't for Leclerc sending it down the inside like a madman. The 16 still alongside with a 9 as it was on lap 1. They are really keeping us on our toes here. And still Puff this time, actually, with the tyre advantage in terms of pace. He's in front. So Ica World and UK Ball taking the lead of this race, but they are yet to make their first pit stops. Also yet to make that first pit stops of Falstad and Sims and Elliot Delly as well. So Delly's done 8 laps on the softs. In comes UK Ball, but staying out is Ica. There goes the Red Devil on Elliot Delly. I don't know why Renault have kept him out for that long. What tyres are going on? Those are softs for the Power Motorsport man. But they do look good on that car. I don't think that's what they need. They've effectively strapped him onto the T-stop. Not too sure if the T-stop strategy is the one that will win this race. Maybe a one-stop, if you do use the hard tyres, will win it. There's Ocampo going alongside with Leclerc. He looks down the inside on his now fellow champion. Side by side they remain. And it's Leclerc in front, and is that a puncture for Ocampo? Is that? No, it's not. It is not. False alarm. He just lifted there. And that really did worry me for a second, because if you lift on a straight, and It's especially that straight. It's not usual because when you're on a straight, you're going full blast. But of course, Leclerc covering off the Philippine driver, that's probably why he had to lift, to avoid a collision. So that is the likely reason. Ica World's coming to the pits. Puff is leading here in Sao Paulo. Fastest lap goes to Revo. Puff, in his career in the ERL, he has one win to his name, and that's in IndyCar. That was Mid-Ohio Season 1, driving for Penske. Now with the Jaguar, the Panasonic Jaguar Racing Team, in Season 24. He's going for his first race win in Formula E, the big boy Formula E series. While IndyCar isn't a Formula 2-esque series in the ERL, it is more of a side job. It's closer to Super Formula in the ERL if you want a real-life comparison. But rounding the final 2 turns there for Puff, and he's going to be leading by 4 seconds over Revo, who, by the way, he's just blasted past Leclerc and Ocampo. That's just down to the tyre advantage. He stayed the fastest lap of 58.9. Ocampo sends it on Leclerc and moves up into 3rd. So in the top 5, you've got 3 champions, 2 champions who have taken that championship in the chase, and a driver who has never won, not just a championship, but a race. Folstad's done 11 laps on his hard compound tyres, by the way, and he's down in 11th. So that extended gambit that he's tried to work with, it hasn't really worked out too well. We are seeing right now Formula E and Formula F effectively, because everyone behind Kwon, it just doesn't look like they've got the same pace. They're 13 seconds off the race lead if you're Folstad, and you're 44 seconds off of the race lead if you're Verspio, the home driver. It's at the back of the pack by almost the entire lap. 5 to go here in Brazil. It's Puff from Revo and Ocampo. Is that Cable sizing up a move through turn 1? That it was. He's up in 4th now, and in the slipstream of Sebastian Ocampo. He's going to get attack mode here. Does he even need it? He got a monster run out of turn number 3, and it's Cable to P3 at the very site where he won his first ever ERL Series race. Race 4, Season 1, driving for Next TV. Back when he had a very simple helmet, just blue and a stripe of yellow, standing in solidarity with Ukraine. And now, look at where he is. He has his own team. He's partnered with a fellow champion. He's a 2-time ERL Formula E champion. And he returns every time at this race, hoping to just relive that glory he got at his first chance. Into the pits comes Revo on lap 13, so he's doing the 2-stop strategy. It's definitely faster. They put on medium tyres, so he's definitely going to the end. And on those mediums, he's not actually going to experience too much graining once he reaches the end of this race. So, could be a smart decision, could be a lame one, but he's still going to come out of the pits in the top 10. He's got that point backed. I think it was Ryan Blaney who said this about championships. The second one, you're hungrier for the second one, because after getting your first one, you feel just that much hungrier. You want to relive that high. And for Cable, well, he's relived that high once. He's trying to relive that high for a second time. Puff, the man who leads this race, he's never had that high of winning a championship before. He's had the high of winning a race before, but he's only had it once. And with 3 to go, he dives into pit row, and he's going for the 2-stop strategy. Cable leads the way on lap 14 of 17. The pit lane will close on lap 16. So the drivers really only have a few more laps before they are locked onto the strategy that they have. If you're on the hard tyres, it will work out somewhat well for you. If you're on the softs or mediums, in other words, if your name is Cable, Ronnie Sola, or Ica World, I would imagine that you'd want to pit soon. And Revo He was on the back of Puff for a second there, just like Ica World is right now. He's hovering all over the back of that white Target power car. And for Paolo Motorsport, if they can keep the Angolan driver at bay, it'll be perfect. Ica World made his Formula E debut driving for Mercedes at this very race, I believe. Of course, my memory doesn't always serve me too well. But after his stint at Mercedes, he moved to the Pinnacle Academy, and he was going to drive for them in the FG Series as now U-Cable dives into pit road, and Ica now leads. And this man, he was looking to be runner-up last season, but just a string of unfortunate events have just meant that he still doesn't have a championship to his name, and the likelihood is, in my opinion, he probably will not. With 2 to go, here comes Leclerc on Sebastian Ocampo, trying to make it a Pinnacle 1-2. Sends it down the inside. He had attack mode. Sparks flying from the Andretti, but those sparks won't help him take second away from Leclerc, who's now up onto that second step of the podium. And more importantly, it's a 1-2 for Pinnacle Motorsport on their first race, scoring points for the regular season in Formula E. Gabo comes in for his second stop, so I think we might see Ocampo, Leclerc, Sola, Nelson, and Kwon coming into the pits. Actually, you know what? No, I don't think we'll see Kwon coming. If one of the Andrettis is going to come into the pits, then it's going to be Ocampo. There goes Path on the man who won his first ERL Series race at this very circuit. Ica World starts the penultimate lap of this race. Path is fighting for 5th position there. So they now head across that start-finish line. It's become clear. Ocampo, Leclerc, Sola, Kwon Todoroki, and Marcus Nelson, they are staying out to the bitter end in this race. Same with Ica World, actually. I'm shocked that he's been able to stretch his tyres for that long. And there goes Path to P5 in front of Nelson and Todoroki. Todoroki moved up into 6th position there. Just status update on Ronnie Sola, 35% tyre wear. He's always been a little bit of a tyre whisperer, but now with Path chasing him down, I'm just really shocked that the strategy that Jaguar didn't work. The tyres that Michelin has brought in for this weekend, they were harder than we expected, it turns out. We thought that, yes, the 2-stop would have been the ideal strategy, but turns out, no. Ica World begins the final lap of this race. He's done 7 laps on those softs. Here comes Path side by side with Sola, and he moves up into 4th position. He can watch Ocampo and Leclerc dueling over seconds. That's a 1-2 for Pinnacle for now. Ocampo under threat from Path. Here comes the Scotsman. Goes alongside with the English driver alongside him, and he moves up into 2nd position where he started, but nowhere near where he wanted to be, because Ica World has pulled away. 6.2 seconds. It's closing, but it's not closing at the rate he needs it to. He needs it to be about 5 seconds in this final sector, and it's not going to happen. While Ica's tyres might be screaming out for help, I can tell you, under that helmet, Ica screams of joy. He rounds the final turn, and he wins in Sao Paulo. Path will come across the line to claim 2nd position, and for Pinnacle Motorsport, it's a 1-3 as Path set to 57.333 on the final lap. It's a brilliant showing from them. Looking further down the order, Falstad fighting with Mathias side by side. There you go. That's going to be the 18th for the Norwegian driver. Sims in 15th right now, looking to try and get past Razak. All the top 10 have actually come across the line, and I think we can make some good predictions right now. I don't think that Sims will be able to recapture the success that they had in Season 22. That's what we really wanted to see last season. It's not what we're going to see this season. Mercedes, they just don't have it. They haven't had it in a long time, and I don't know if they'll ever get it back. But this is your podium. Ica World taking victory from Path and Lawless Leclerc, your top 3. A brilliant outing for the Angolan driver, and again a brilliant outing for the British Monegasque driver in Lala Leclerc. Puff hopefully wanted a lot more than a second place finish, but a second place finish still is his best career finish in Formula E. Off the podium, you've got Sebastian Ocampo, Rodney Sola, and Revo the top 6 from UK Ball, Quan Todoroki, the Red Devil, and Marcus Nelson. Outside of your point scorers, you've got Francis Austin, Charles Hernandez, Elliot Daly, Scadlin Rosak, Daniel Bogdasarov, Jonathan Sims, Oscar Folstad, Salas Kynes, Cosmas Rodicis versus Theo, who only managed to finish his home race in 20th, Remy LeBeau's 21st, and Tenali Gabo's at the very back of the pack. The driver standings is the exact same as the finishing order from today, so in the constructors standings, heading into the Las Vegas round, Pinnacle Motorsport head the pack with double the points as Panasonic Jaguar. Then you've got a tie for third between MS Amlin Andretti and Power Motorsport. DS Virgin Racing are fifth, and Dragon Racing, Mercedes EQ, Red Bull Sims Porsche, App Schaeffler Audi Sport, Team Edams Renault, and Toyota Gazoo Racing are all yet to score. We will see you guys next time then when the ERL returns.